We are all the way here. Yes.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you for being here. I want to say that I have felt very strongly the inner energy, the connection, my connection, and that it has allowed for this sense of aliveness and new perspective, new perception, new way of looking at things. Every time I step into that energy and I allow it to come forward and I open up my heart, it feels like I'm given this wonderful gift of peace, but wisdom. And
Yes.
yeah, and it's so beautiful, Joseph. And um, more and more and more that's been happening. And then there's the contrast to that, which, so I'm happily kind of bopping along in this energy. And then um, something will happen. Like today, I got caught in this big snowstorm kerfuffle traffic thing. I was so frustrated about it. And, and I know that it was my energy. That's why it was like that. But I was like, oh, geez, I thought I was beyond all of this kind of stuff. I mean, I finally kind of settled down and, relaxed. And again, I can find that inner energy, that inner peace, and everything shifts and the road clears, and there I go. Right. Which is awesome. And then when I came home, my daughter said that her boyfriend told her that her mother has his own mother has inoperable pancreatic cancer, and that he's not doing well about it. Of course, it's a hard thing to take. Um, and then earlier this week, David got a diagnosis of something called progressive supranuclear palsy, which affects like a certain part of the brain, but it's an actual thing, right? PSP. So it's this diagnosis. And I know that we are not the diagnosis. We are not we don't need to buy into like, okay, now you have this diagnosis, therefore this is going to happen, and then you're going to be dead, you know. But but I am having a little bit of trouble navigating the emotional ropes with it, because it kind of just like, it's intense, the way it comes in. So I don't know if you could just speak a little bit about navigating that. I'd appreciate it.
Well, you're developing your relationship with all of this. And that's where your power is. That's where your freedom is. That's where your ability to have control, to feel feelings of control. And when you can find that feeling of control, then you can share that and offer it to others. In other words, you're speaking of the wisdom, and that wisdom expressed is compassion. And that's really what this conversation is about. Again, is how you're sharing that stability, how you're sharing that wellness with others. So, diagnosis, label, you can call it whatever you want. But what you want to provide as much as possible is comfort.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what this all translates into.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, like I see and understand that, the opportunity for love is so much greater when really that's all there is that's now between us. So, you know what I mean? It's like somebody says, well, they've got this diagnosis and it's a fatal diagnosis or disease or something. And then what becomes important, what becomes important? The love, that sharing of that, amazing light and that love and the joy of who, we've been together, memories, same thing for him and his mother and his family. And when you get into that place of awareness and understanding and you have those feelings of that energy of love, it's like it's beautiful. Everything really is, it's okay because it's comforting. It is comforting.
Yes.
Yeah. but I think that, and that doesn't mean that you don't continue to do the things that perhaps are helpful medically, or therapy, or whatever else might come up that seems like the right thing to do, not you know go crazy, um but that sense of this moment is important right here and now. It's more vibrant, it's more vital, you know that's what
Yes.
that's what comes up for me, at least. And the other piece of it is that I've been feeling is it's hard to watch the physical biological body suffer. And I don't understand. I know that that brings to people like perhaps more understanding. And I know it can be like a way out, oh, this pain is so much, I'd just like to let go. Because I went through that with my mother. I know it was like she was in so much pain, so much, discomfort, that it was perhaps her way of like, okay, I'm just going to exit, get rid of this pain. And I went through that with my brothers too. They were in such pain that, finally they were just like, enough. But why do we have to pick the pain? Why can't we just, you know, go to sleep and decide I'm done?
Because of that feeling of discomfort, which you can attribute to all sorts of different things, whether it's a holding on to this or that or whatever. It's a state of discomfort. And so that is why we are saying your greatest value is to provide that comfort, that assurance in all times, unconditionally. Because as you are able to let go of the pain, then you move in the direction of where you want to go. The pain is just hanging on. The pain is still just a little bit of a resistance going on through the process. And so if you can offer that comfort throughout the process, then wherever they're going becomes easier.
Okay. Yeah.
And you'll
So,
know where that direction is because that's what you'll see. You don't have to figure that out for them. And in fact, you cannot figure it out for anyone else. You can just know and accept the stream of life that is flowing and offer that comfort to continue to bask in that, in whichever direction someone moves. And that is unconditional love. And you know this because you've felt it, you've experienced it, and you've shared it.
yeah, thank you. It just is a good reminder. It kind of clicks in a way when you say, well, what the pain or the suffering is a representation of the discomfort, and the discomfort is the resistance. But we haven't, as a humanity or as a society, said um, to one another, it's okay to decide I've had enough and it's time to go. You know what I mean?
We do. And that's why there's so much pain. That's why there's so much fear
Yeah. Yeah. So
and
really,
discomfort as well.
discomfort. So really, allowing when someone's going through these experiences, it doesn't seem right to spend a whole lot of time digging into the psychological, roots, and it doesn't really matter, all of that.
To share the comfort with another, you have to find it within yourself. Does that conversation bring you into that comfort? Does it bring you into the assurance?
And that
And we want you to really feel the answer there, not perceive what could be on the other side of the conversation. In other words, let's just get through the conversation so I can get the answer so I can find the comfort. Start to feel in that direction. Is your body relaxing in this conversation? Moving into it? Or are you looking for the solution to give you the relaxation?
No, I don't think I'm looking for the solution to give me the relaxation. I just wonder if awareness or understanding gives people comfort.
It does. But awareness and understanding of what? And we ask you that question because you have a fork here that you can choose, and you feel there is a choice that can be made. We don't want you to make the criteria for the choice the
Out.
reality of it, yes, or what you think the outcome of the conversation will be. We want you to feel the direction that the conversation that you're maybe wanting to consider to move into, how is it feeling? Check in with your body, check in with your breath. Is it bringing you openness? Is it bringing you comfort and relaxation? Is it bringing you assurance or feel that you're moving in that direction?
Mm,
Or is there a clamping? Is there a tension? Is there a resistance? Is there an anxiety coming on?
mm,
And
yeah.
again, to comfort another, you have to find that comfort. And so this is the choice point, and you have it at all times. Am I going to go a little bit more in the direction of that comfort so I can share the comfort? Or am I going to go a little bit more in the direction of trying to figure it all out and find the reasons why and solve the problems? And you see.
Yeah. Excuse me. um, yeah. I thought when my daughter and I were talking, and David, we were at the table kind of talking about Greg's mom, and she said, "Well, I think I just want to send flowers." And I said, "Well, that's great. That's an expression of who you are. That's how you do your love. And I think if that's what you want to do, you should do, and you should do it." And I thought, I want to write a card, and not because I want to say, I'm so sorry, but because I want to say, you know, here I am, a friend, someone who I don't know you well, but I know you pretty well because your son, lives with us. And I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you. And
And how
and
does that feeling feel when you're having that conversation? What does that feel like?
it felt it felt like maybe that wasn't enough. A little bit. It felt a little bit like that was enough. But then I remembered that my cousin had asked me to write a letter to his sister when she was passing away. And he told me how much she enjoyed that letter, getting it, receiving it, remembering when we were kids, you know, how happy it had made her. So I know that I don't have to, do anything. It's the expression that I want to offer of love. It's an
Yes.
expression of love. Yeah.
And that love and that comfort for you, as you experienced before, for you to share that, you have to step into that. And so that's why we ask, how does that action feel? Because if you're doing it out of obligation, that's the energy that they are receiving when they open the card and say,
Right.
oh, that's so nice. Next, you see. But if you get into that place where you're feeling the comfort and the love, and then you feel yourself drawn to that action and the words flow through you, and in that state, you're in the love, you're in the comfort. Well, that's how you offer and share the comfort.
Yeah.
And when they open the card, it's not about the words, it's about the feeling and the energy that's being portrayed.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. It's almost like I carry that light within me,
You do.
and really, when I was talking before about when you get these kind of events that happen, what's really important is, being real and present. And that's what I'm feeling coming forward. So that's what I want to share.
And that's what they'll receive.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's how you're of benefit. And that's how you're calling them in that direction. And even if it's only for a moment of them receiving that, that's the benefit that you've offered and that they've received.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And for my daughter's boyfriend, who is extremely, I mean, he's distraught. I thought that I could also share with him, if I talk with him, you know, how I experienced my own mother's journey in a way, that it's not perfect, that we don't have all the answers, and that sometimes it's just important to sit there and be with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will flow through you.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And I also had this other inspiration that I wanted to ask about, because I've been thinking about potential, and a lot of the idea of potential in the unknown has to do with the feeling that I am this light. Oh, there's Anson. That I am this consciousness, that in fact the intertwining of the energies. Hi, Anson.
Hello.
The intertwining of the higher energies, of the higher frequencies, as I perceive something, as I for instance think about, my husband and my relationship, and what that is now with his, you know diagnosis or illness. um I thought, what, there's something that I can step into here that has never ever occurred before, been experienced before, that there's a melding of energies, or there's a bringing forward of energies through this love that's unknown, that I don't know about, but yet I feel like it's creative energy that can be brought into this situation, that can create something new and different that maybe no one else has ever, dreamed of or perceived or,
Indeed.
experienced before.
There is
Yeah,
always.
always. Because that's the creation energy, right? That's my higher consciousness, myself, me, coming through in this kind of pure potential of things in the unknown. But it's almost like you step into the darkness in a way, but you transmute the darkness into this beautiful experience of light, not knowing perhaps what it was, but through the intention of carrying the light or being the light or bringing the light, that it comes forward kind of with me.
Yes. And that's always available to you, whether you're in the other room or another country,
Oh,
right here, right now.
oh,
And in your desire for that connection, the energy is immediately present. The only question is, how much of you are you letting blend with it?
yeah. Well, I had like a thought, or an experience of, like, I studied Reiki, Reiki energy, and um, I just had this, like, feeling of this powerful energy flowing, that, um, and it was almost saying to me, like, just embody it. It was
Yes.
almost, yeah, it was almost saying, like, just be it, you know. And in that was this amazing potential and power. Like I said, you know what? This could be a really good experience that we're having. So all the negative, labels and all that kind of stuff that, and then this will happen, and then that'll happen, and then that'll happen. Like all that kind of stuff just drifted away. And instead in came this powerful, like, this could be this beautiful experience that no one has had before, that you can create. So just be it.
Yes.
That's cool.
That's the process.
That's it. That's it.
You feel it, you are it, you draw more of it to you, you experience more of it, you share it with others.
I sometimes don't know how to actually explain it to people, or um, not that I have to. Um,
You find the state of being, you find that energy, you are it, you maintain it, and you let it come to you word by word by word.
that's
In
true.
other words, Aaron many times expects himself to be as articulate and understanding of this process as we are. And we want you to know that you have access to all of that inner information and the inner energy, but it is not the same as your conscious intellectual mind. So when you place that intention and you let it flow, thought by thought by thought, in other words, that's all he's doing right here, right now. He has no idea what we're going to be talking about or the intention or the direction that we're going. It's just word by word by word. How much are you letting it flow? How much are you letting it flow? And it pulls you into that rhythm as well. And so that's the effect, that's the influence that you have on others by placing that intention. Just identify more with the energy
Mhm.
and let that lead step by step by step to the next whatever, whether it's a word, whether it's an action. It's all
Yeah,
queued up, ready for you. All you have to do is breathe and let it flow.
yeah. Identify more with the energy. I mean, that's exactly it. Still, I still have some, I can see some resistance, but when you say that, identify with the energy, it's like, yeah, I know what that is.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And instead of trying to take this non physical idea and boil it all down and figure it out and make an outline and think of how you're going to express it to someone, just accept the power of that idea to express through you by your intention and let it happen word for word. You don't have to have every word in the book held simultaneously in your mind while you're trying to write it. It's just the next word.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The heart center, or the heart chakra, I don't know what to call it, but that part of you that's like, the center, like, breathing into that heart center, and then, allowing that to just kind of expand in a way. That's a spiritual center of the body, isn't it? Like the heart, or is that something I made up? Because it feels like there's, like it feels like sometimes if the energy's coming here intensely and strongly, that I'm not up here so much. I'm here because I can feel the energy here.
Well, it's all valid, but when you place that intention to connect with the inner energy and you feel it in the chest and the heart, as most do when interacting with us and with that inner energy, just let it flow. Because the focus can move throughout the body. In other words, when you started this process, you knew there was tension here or there, and it would come up and you would recognize it. And we wouldn't say ignore it and focus on the heart in that moment, but that's where the energy is active. So let that start to open up, let that start to unfold, let that lead to the next. And so if you're feeling the activation in the heart, then go with it and let it, because wherever you're letting the energy flow is its next sort of path of least resistance, its next place of expression within the body. And so
Mm-hmm.
you let that lead because it'll lead to another state, it'll lead to other states of being. Again, it's trusting and identifying with that energy and just letting each next step reveal itself to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's all, again, based on your intention. So that's why we want that to be paramount in your focus. I intend for my highest source of guidance, my inner energy, whatever terminology or phraseology you want to use that and place that intention and trust that all of the energy, all of the experience is moving in that direction. And so whatever comes up is part of that unfolding. Whereas if you go and you sort of say, I'll just take whatever I can get and the good, the bad, and the ugly, then don't be surprised when you get the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt that when you said that, Joseph. I intend for the higher consciousness energy to flow, to connect, to be, to I allow and accept in this present moment.
And so it is.
I should have done that this morning.
Me too. One of those days. I'm done
Yeah,
creating.
I don't know what yours was like, but I just drove through a freaking snowstorm. It was nuts. Um, yeah, yeah, used that. It
But that experience led you to this conversation.
did. It did. Because I knew that everything was kind of jumbled up. And so it needed to be, released, let go, you know, um, allowed to dissipate. Yeah. To bring in that new, higher, beautiful energy, refreshing.
And because if you don't remember that, if you don't prioritize that, then you start to prioritize and give credence to all of the things that are happening around you. And there are lots of them. And once the ball is rolling on any of that, it just gets stronger and stronger. And now, again, you're having to put out little fires. And the next thing you know, you're not enjoying yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, I hear you. I hear you. The sort of owning it, if you will. I mean, that's kind of a cliche in a way, but owning the fact that I am this higher energy, that I am this divine human. It's not a 24-hour thing. I mean, it is in perhaps reality, but in my experience of, being a human, I am always, I should preface, I am always this higher energy, this beautiful divine being. And my awareness is not always that. I'm not always perceiving that. But I am more and more and more perceiving that. And I think that that's what is meant by owning it. Because, clearly, Joseph, I can feel, from you and Aaron, this energy, this inner energy. Clearly, I can feel that. It's because because Aaron is really like embodying this energy and you're, with you.
But when you say embody, there is almost this implication of needing to sort of step up and own it and be big, and
Yeah.
that is not his experience here. Although that is, in other words, when the flag is being moved by the wind, that's sort of he's the flag and we're the wind. And so it looks as if there's all sorts of animation and almost as if the flag has all of this life in and of itself. But the flag is just going with the flow of that momentum of energy. And so that's where Aaron is within all of this. And we're blustering through this physical experience. And so you will be lifted up. But in the same way the bird is carried on that momentum of the wind, it doesn't need to fight. It just sort of relaxes and sets its intention and is carried by that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more you trust that directive, the intelligence, the motion, the intent of that inner energy, the more you let yourself really relax into it, the more you'll feel yourself empowered by it.
But you know how some people, like, they can say a bunch of things, but they're not really being what they say,
Yes.
walking the talk. And I feel like the inner energy that's what I meant by kind of owning it or embodying it. Sort of like, and you said identify with the energy. It's like a conscious identification, a knowing of who I am.
But when you know who you are, you don't have to keep reminding yourself of it. So that's, and we're getting we're refining it here. These are just little tweaks.
Yeah.
These are little bridges that you're using to give yourself that full experience. And when you have the experience, you're experiencing it. You don't have to keep affirming the experience. You just enjoy it and you let it continue.
Right. But to teach other people or to talk about it with people who may not have experienced it, I feel like I want to talk about my experience of it.
He wants you to speak from your experience of it.
From my, yeah, you always do that. You always like from. Yeah, which is good. From your experience of it, from your experience, because I already am it. I
Yes,
am being it.
indeed.
I am.
Mhm.
Okay. Phew. It's confusing though. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like go there with it, but I've been trying to put together a course for people and describing in words sometimes what higher consciousness is. I almost feel like I have to objectify that, I know it's not separate, but
Well,
maybe that's
you're
just,
talking about it like it's something on the other side of the room,
yeah,
and you're examining it and
yeah,
attempting to convey that. And
yeah,
it's over there, but it's also right here.
yeah,
So again, you're getting a little bit into the mind, into the
yeah,
separation a little bit here. And we want you to just really accept how easy this is. All you have to do is sit down and say, give me the outline, give me 10 points or however many modules you'd like to create: inner being, inner self, inner guidance. And you place that intention and you relax and you breathe and you light a candle or whatever feels good for you. And then when number one comes, you'll know. You don't have to weigh the pros and the cons and analyze this and do market research and all of these sorts of things. You place the intention and the idea is right there. And then the next and the next and the next. And then you'll reach this point where you'll say, that's it. And then you take number one and you say, okay, what am I going to say for this one? I know you've got it. Inner energy, inner guidance. What is it? And then it's not about intently listening and trying to write down everything that you hear. It's about relaxing and then just letting the words flow. And you can always edit later, but just getting as much of that flow as you can.
yeah, 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 I can be in that flow. Absolutely. I have that experience. I know what that is. I am in that. I feel like I'm in that right now with you guys. So, yeah. Okay.
And so let the thought go.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
there, trust
Yeah.
it and just breathe. Just
Yeah.
be in the moment and breathe and relax. And the next thoughts will come to you. We know you're trying to cover all your bases with this understanding, but you said it yourself. You can't take this infinite, eternal energy and boil it down into.
Yeah. Like here you go. Here it is. No, sometimes I do. I want this, here's the box. Here you go. No, it's so true. It's the experience. It's the ongoing eternal experience of being that divine energy.
It is.
Thank you, Joseph, again. Appreciate it.
And in this moment of just letting yourself be here, you feel our appreciation as well.
I do. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yes.
I do feel your appreciation. It's sort of like this is fun to play together like this.
It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we are appreciating each other
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
a flux, in and out of flux flow,
Yes.
kind of a thing.
If you think of this inner energy you're now expressing into all of you simultaneously, you see it is a dance and a give and take and a back and forth that you'll experience. We call it collective consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful because there's a freedom, I guess, in being, allowing, feeling that love. There's a big freedom, like just feels very free.
And
Just,
so that's how you express it to others.
oh, Joseph. That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Mm-hmm. Very good.
And the words are just the bridge that you're using to the energy. So it's not about the words, it's about the energy. You can use those same words, it feels free, and they will be received completely differently depending on the energy that's behind it.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's a really good point, because it is like how you express or what's behind the expression, and we can feel that from each other.
Yes.
Like we
Collective consciousness.
Mhm.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have to remember that. So really we're talking to, like, if we're talking to someone and maybe they're not into the same kind of spiritual beliefs or teachings, but we're expressing this incredible sort of divine energy of love, people still know what that is. They still feel that. Doesn't have to
Yes.
have a total, like, this is Christ consciousness or whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, very good.
And there are other people who are experiencing this energy using a completely different set of symbols and words and expressions who may be thinking the same thing of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, everyone has the same energy, the same um, flow, the same of everything. It's just different way of looking at it,
Yes.
or you are using it.
Expressing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you find your place within all of that by doing this process that we've been talking about through this entire conversation. Then you're at the right place at the right time. The energy is inspiring you. That broader understanding is leading you in that direction.
Mm.
Someone has a nail and you have the hammer, you find each other.
Before I was spiritual or whatever, I used to tell all my friends it's not that serious. Like everything was not that serious. And then one day I realized, oh my goodness, it's really not that serious. It's just is. It's not. It is just there. There's nothing else to it. It's not that serious.
Indeed.
I was speaking with someone about this idea that, you know, kind of we are this all that is, you know, we are God, and that this experience where we come and we kind of forget that that's who we are is really an opportunity to remember that's who we are, because in that remembering process is this in that discovery is a lot of like joy from the human perspective, a lot of, and I suppose from the soul perspective as well, you know, there's just a
Yes.
lot of like, because you get to create all these different things that haven't been created before in the process of doing that, kind of waking up to know yourself, right?
And so it is.
And so it is. I just wrote the story of creation, Joseph. Just kidding.
And it's not over yet.
And it's not over yet. No, it's not. No, it won't be. But yeah, um, so yeah, so there's this beautiful sense that even in, you know, kind of the darkness, the darkest hours and all of that, you can say it's not that serious, even though you experience it, you know, as real, and it is real. But when you kind of get beyond it or move, you know, and you recognize where it's leading you, again, it becomes just kind of part of the journey, not um and a part of the growth and an opportunity to know yourself. But it is just part of this ongoing expansion and exploration in a way.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that understanding, that acceptance gives you the freedom to dabble and create and feel this out and test this out and explore and enjoy it instead of thinking it's a right or wrong thing that you must accomplish.
Yeah, because we always think that those conditions are what make us happy, and really it's what we experience, you know, within that is the source of our happiness.
Yes.
And that comes first. And that comes like lately I've been focusing on, you know, on joy in the sense that, you know, what makes me feel good in this moment, what, not when I went to Denver in the snowstorm, but at other times I've been, you know, really like, what makes me feel good right now? What gives me joy? What do I want to know or see that is expansive and loving and fun and beautiful? And it's amazing how it all comes through. You know, when I ask those things, like I get new insights or little ideas, or, you know, just like a little switch goes off, or, you know, there's just a little
It's that easy.
yeah. Yeah. Because I am this amazing being of light. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Okay.
It's fun. Yes. It's
It is fun.
enjoyable.
It is. It is. It's fun. It's even fun to complain a little bit about my experience and then find the other side of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. Mhm. That feels like that was a lot.
We think you've got it.
It's
And
good.
it's not something to hold on to. It's not something to crystallize and to, again, try to objectify or personify outside of yourself and strive to achieve, but it's to embody in the sense that you're letting yourself become it by the intention and then letting things flow. And that's really it. Then the next step comes, the new idea comes.
Yeah. When I go to sleep at night, and sometimes I just have this intention to just sleep peacefully, I just want a peaceful sleep, just nice, peaceful, you know, and I feel myself relaxing, and that's awesome. But I've been wondering about because I've woken up a couple of times in the morning with these like, I want to say insights or something. But I'm wondering if I could set an intention at night while I'm asleep to create more opportunities for like things that I want, like desires. Can you use your sleep as an opportunity to focus your energy, or you're just like gone when you're sleeping?
You can
Or at-
very much determine your experience in that sleep state through intention.
oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. You can. Awesome. Because David said that he's like been dreaming a lot about his mother and his family when he was a kid, and it's really enjoyable. And in his sleep, he's talking. Like in his dreams, he's actually talking.
Yes.
He doesn't talk much anymore. So, he's actually like going there and talking. And I thought, well, maybe that's what we can use sleep for, to have other experiences of, maybe we're not conscious of them, but
Whatever you wish.
yeah. Okay.
We would continue our message of making your primary intention to connect with your own inner energy, to entwine with that, and to
Yeah.
express that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to try writing down a couple things and experiencing some fun stuff. Thank
We
you.
like that intention.
Fun stuff in sleep. Mhm.
We don't have much else to say here. Yes, there's
No.
that balance. You found the balance. There is that understanding of the process and the maintenance, and some things may come up, and that's why we're here to talk you back into that flow. But it's easy, it's fun, it's enjoyable when you put your emphasis on the intention and the experience of that energy. Everything else falls into place. But as soon as you start making it about the events and trying to figure it all out and to dissect it, that's where that momentum slows, and then you start to want to fix things.
Yeah.
Or getting the leverage that's coming from this inner energy.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Anything else here?
Nope,
Not for me. No, thank you.
not for me. I enjoyed it.
Indeed. Set the intention and the energy is immediately available to you. You just need to experience it. Allow yourself to flow. We are complete.
Thank you.
Hey, okay. Oh, nice. I like that one.
Yeah, that was very, very good. They were
Oh yeah.
right on target.
Yeah, that's just very simple. I like that. I'm gonna have to go definitely obviously go back and listen to that one, but I love those because it's just like, oh yeah.
That's right. Like you can get it instantly what they're saying, which I love, because it's like, I don't know. Now it's not so much about all the mind stuff. Now it's just about them saying, something and then like getting right into that space, getting into that energy. Like,
Yeah,
they'll-
exactly.
they'll
Yeah.
say something and then you're like, boom, you're in that energy. At least I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
It makes
you.
me just like not want to think about anything and just have a, great chill day.
It kind of reminds you who you are.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, totally. Because I feel like it's really easy to get wrapped up in the,
Yep.
the mind chatter and the problems and the this or that, or, all that stuff. But
Yep.
it's not about any of that.
No,
No,
thank you.
it is not that serious.
I love that.
Not that serious. Thanks, Anson. All right. Well,
Yeah.
you guys have a good week.
All right, you
All
too.
righty,
Have
you
a good
too.
week, too.
All
See you soon.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.